From adopting kids to become her personal servants, to 5-year-old Patrick being forced to do house chores because his mother was too fat, here are times when children became servants to their parents on My 600-Pound Life. Starting with Milla Clark's underage adoptive kids being responsible for working round the clock and around the house every day like full-time servants for their mother.
I'm trapped here, and I can't even take care of myself. So my children have to do everything for me.
Their mother's excessive weight gain over the years had made her completely immobile and dependent on them for even the most basic things like taking a shower.
Every morning the kids get up before sunrise to come in here and bathe me because I can't do it myself.
Or washing her after she soiled her bed countless times every day. What's even worse is how this was not a one-man job and all the kids had to collectively work to bathe their mother. Despite it all, the kids didn't complain. They were made to comply with everything their mother had to say, making their relationship more like that of master and servants than that of mother and children.
Kids have to do that. They have to, do everything for me. Everything falls on them.
Most of all the responsibilities were on Hannah Clark, Milla's 15-year-old daughter, who had to do everything from cleaning up to going to the supermarket to buy groceries.
I'm depressed. Like, real depressed that she can't get out of bed. I do have a lot of responsibility.
Which is so unfortunate for her, as she has to bear the burden of knowing that what she's being asked to do could potentially kill her own mother.
Bring my mom some of the stuff that she asked us to bring her, but we have to. She'll be mad if we don't.
The viewers were rather upset for the way the kids were living and couldn't help but criticize Milla, saying, "This behavior was so disgusting, manipulating, and I don't understand how or why she was allowed to adopt children that she used as her personal servants." Some were so concerned they couldn't help but point out, if these children are fostered and having a life like this, why wasn't the social services involved? And while Milla's children had less to complain about, the same could not be said about Pauline Potter's son Dylan, who, despite being old enough to live his own life, was forced to be a full-time caretaker for his morbidly obese mother.
Dylan is her only child. He's always taking care of Pauline.
Dylan helped her with every aspect of her life, even helping her dress up because she was unable to put clothes on herself.
Having my son take care of me is one of the worst things ever. Dylan is 21, and his full-time job is taking care of me. He has to help me put my pants on my legs because I can't bend over to do it. My legs are too big.
He was basically working full-time just to make sure his mother got through the day.
It's not a healthy relationship because it's not a mother-son relationship. It's more like a client and a caregiver.
Dylan's discomfort can be seen throughout the episode, where he constantly complains when he's asked to do anything for his mother. He was basically made to do everything around the house, and even run for his mother's untimely cravings.
Hey, Dill, go grab some breakfast for me. Thanks, babe.
Things got so out of hand that she was dependent on him for everything.
I totally feel like he's the parent and I'm the kid.
But what's worse is that Dylan was doing it all against his will, wishing his mum would change for the better.
My mom, but since she's this heavy, whatever I'm doing, I have to stop and just take care of her. And I just do wish that she could walk longer and stand up longer so I wouldn't have to help her with everything.
Viewers were critical about Pauline's attitude towards her son. Ruining your kid's life because all you want to do is eat and eat? Can't respect that or feel any empathy. But despite all the criticism, even by Dr. Now, Pauline didn't truly take accountability. And although she kept repeating multiple times that it was her fault, she continued to make excuses every chance she got.
The question is, who buys those?
I'll send my son, but I know what you're gonna say, and it's really not his fault. I know he's probably considered an enabler, but I abuse my position as his mother, and I tell him, go get my food.
And went on with her habits, asking Dylan for nearly everything she wanted help with.
Hey, Dill, honey, could you bring me my lunch, please? Because it's been so long since I ate, I'm feeling a little bit nauseous.
He had to steer her around in a wheelchair and even help her get into the car due to her inability to do so herself. and the distress was written all over his face.
I just can't wait for the day that I don't have to help her every day.
Viewers couldn't help but call Pauline selfish for the way she was treating her son, with one being extremely annoyed at her conduct, saying, "She is an eternal victim who is ruining her son's life. She will never let him go and will always feel bad and will always find excuses." But while Dylan still had a little bit of independence aside from his job as his mother's caretaker, James King's daughter Bailey was stripped from even that. Taking care of her lazy, bedridden, obese father was her full-time job.
I just can't do anything for myself anymore. So I got to depend completely on my girlfriend Lisa or my daughter Bailey to help me out.
Her whole life revolved around catering to her father's needs and helping him out in every way possible, whether it was giving him a bath, washing his feces, or cooking him his massive meals while he lay in bed ordering around. Viewers couldn't help but feel disgusted by the way Bailey was treated, but that wasn't even the worst part. What her parents did to her was even more unexpected and aggravating.
My mom pulled me out of school because I have to help with my dad. I don't feel like that I should have to be a caretaker to my dad because a father is supposed to protect and take care of his daughter.
Bailey was constantly suffering due to her father's food addiction and her mother's ignorance, and she couldn't help but feel like she wasn't loved enough.
Sometimes it feels like my dad cares more about the food than it does his own family.
James was bashed for being a bad parent, with one viewer commenting, "She got pulled out of school to take care of her father. She's literally throwing her life away to take care of a sitting coffin." Having his daughter clean up his dirty diapers instead of being in school is literally disgusting. Bailey was living in an abusive household where her father would manipulate her to get the things he wanted, and she was anything but happy about the situation.
When I tell him he doesn't need it, he'll get mad and he'll yell. It makes me angry and sad at the same time. I'm so frustrated.
I am not a fan of calling child protection services, but I would call 10 times a day till the daughter gets free of this tragedy. But as shocking as this already is, it only gets worse from here. Much like Bailey, who was stuck catering to her manipulative father, Lisa Fleming's daughter Danielle, despite being a full-grown adult and having a family of her own, had to treat her mother as her child, bathing her and wiping her clean every day. What's worse is how her teenage grandson is made to help her take a bath too. He is shown holding Lisa up while her daughter wipes her clean and helps her with her clothes. People on the internet had nothing good to say about this. No matter how hard or traumatic your life may be, subjecting a child to this is shameful. It's selfish, it's weak, it's absolutely horrible. It's a form of child abuse. Despite everything, Danielle had no choice but to give in to her mother.
Taking care of my mom is exhausting. I don't want this to get any worse. But I wouldn't say I resent the things that I have to do for my mom because she only get one mom, so.
And do everything she was asked to do.
If I don't bring her what she asks for or something similar, she'll just order it herself or call someone else. And if my mom doesn't get her way, everybody has to pay. She will fuss, she will curse, she probably would put us out.
What's more concerning is how Danielle barely had any time to cater to herself or her family or take care of her health. She was basically just a full-time maid for her mother.
This is definitely my mom's last chance because no one has been willing to help her.
Lisa's constant demands and Danielle complying with all she asked her to do made the viewers especially question their dynamic. I don't care if you want to eat yourself to death, but it's extremely selfish to expect your children to bathe, feed, and cater to your every need. It's selfish and disgusting. A 2022 study by the University of Chicago looked at overweight adults sleeping an average of 6.5 hours a night. When researchers helped them increase that to 8.5 hours, they naturally ate about 270 fewer calories a day without changing their diet or workouts. That's the equivalent of losing 26 pounds in a year just from improving sleep. That's why I want you to know about Sleep Lean, a 100% natural stimulant-free formula you take before bed. It helps you relax, fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and activate your body's overnight fat-burning mode. And right now, they're running an incredible deal. 6 bottles for just $39 each, plus free US shipping and 2 bonus ebooks to help speed up your results. Click the link in the description now to claim your supply. It's backed by a 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Now, speaking of enabling, let's move on to another case where support became part of the problem. Is Ashley D's 5-year-old son Patrick, who was basically doing everything a grown adult does in the house, even though he wasn't old enough to go to school yet.
But I need help with just about everything else. And most of that falls on my 5-year-old son, Patrick.
Due to his mother's immobility, he was doing everything that required standing up and walking around.
My son helps me with everything. He's my legs in a lot of things. Basically everything that involves standing and walking around a lot, Patrick does for me.
What made it even worse was that Patrick had to do the laundry himself, a risky task for a 5-year-old child who has to hop into a live laundry machine. Because she can't do it all by herself due to her morbid obesity and laziness.
Will you put him in the dryer, pretty please? Patrick is too young to be doing the stuff that he does. I should do everything for him.
Patrick was left to carry responsibilities far beyond his years, putting aside his own childhood to care for his mother.
It's hard for her to walk, so I do the stuff that she wants me to do every day.
People criticized Ashley, saying it is absolutely classed as abuse. She is neglecting his needs whilst he waits on her hand and foot. And if that weren't enough, he was responsible for making food and serving it to her as well. They could only eat whatever Patrick could reach or microwave, which means all he was eating was processed and packaged food without any nutrition that a child needs. This goes beyond everything viewers had seen on the show, which ultimately led to them to critique Ashley's bad parenting. Nothing breaks my heart more than watching that little 5-year-old, who is supposed to be taking care of him. I feel terrible for Patrick. The fact that he is being parentified at such a young age is concerning. The way they were mistreated in the household can't be denied. Still, it wasn't even half as bad as Angie J's daughter, Desiree, who was forced to put her own life on hold to care for a mother who simply wouldn't stop eating. Desiree had grown up with little to no parental presence as a result of Angie's drug addiction and multiple jail sentences, which forced her to live with her grandparents. Yet, despite being just a teenager, she stepped into the role of caregiver, catering to her mother in every way imaginable. She was basically a full-time personal nurse for Angie at this point, looking over nearly every aspect of her life, not being able to complain about a single thing.
Desiree is my caretaker. She's my right hand.
From helping her with things Angie couldn't do herself, even as far as wiping her clean in the shower, she was forced to parentify her mother because of her mother's inability to act as a parent herself. What's even worse is that she had the whole household's responsibilities on her own, including cooking meals several times a day, all while raising a 3-year-old of her own. But Angie, on the other hand, was bedbound and barely able to help around. Desiree was being treated like a maid throughout the day, something she was clearly not happy about.
I get very frustrated with my mother sometimes because I take care of my own 3-year-old at the same time.
Her juggling her own life and then moving on to tending to her obese mother was not something viewers liked, and they were quick to raise their voice against the abuse she was suffering in the house. But that wasn't all. She had more responsibilities to shoulder despite having 3 other people living in the house besides herself. On top of that, Angie acted as a buffer between her mother and her volatile attitude. Due to the tensions between her mother and her boyfriend, she was also constantly made to choose between them, usually because of Angie's manipulative behavior. But what was unacceptable was how her emotions were treated in place of her working so hard to amend things in the house.
So you want me to leave my boyfriend, move to Texas, and be okay with that?
Oh, here we go.
Right. I mean, how am I being
Your
dramatic?
boyfriend's not gonna be dramatic and call me a
that night. I haven't even got time to address anything. I've been...
Yeah, this is what I knew was gonna happen.
and how her mother disregarded her emotions while making her choose between her family and herself.
So if we ever run out of anything, then Desiree needs to go to the store because I can't do it for myself.
To demand your daughter to choose you over her relationship after you chose food and drugs over your daughter is some of the most entitled shit I've ever seen. She even made it all seem as though Desiree never contributed to her life and happiness at all.
I've been on board since day one.
Yeah. So you were on board before too, and because of Daisy, you didn't go.
And now I don't
And now
have a
here we
reason
are
to be
again,
here.
except for you're knocked up again.
This emotional manipulation added to Desiree's frustration, and rightly so. She was manipulated into thinking that what she did was never enough, and that led to her visibly expressing her frustration anytime she got the chance. I am disgusted by this mother. She was in prison, and her parents raised her daughter, and now she's complaining her daughter wants a life outside of being her personal nurse? And if Desiree's circumstances were pitiful, it only gets worse from here, with Cynthia Wells' daughter, Ukaya, managing the whole house's chores at just 11 years old.
Kaya! Can you come do my legs? Once I get out the shower, my daughter comes in and she'll clean out the back of my legs because my arms are too short to reach.
Even though she was doing it all on her own, she was a lot more mature about her circumstances and was intentional with her care for her mother.
Mom, she tries to do everything. She tries not to be lazy. She tries to do a lot. But she can't.
Her attitude touched the viewers, and they appreciated her emotional intelligence. The fact that the daughter doesn't even complain either. She's just worried about her mother and is willing to do whatever to help her. I hope she gets the life she deserves, and was even praised for her contribution and care by her mother, unlike many other children on the show.
Ukaya, that's a lot. She is a 40-year-old woman in an 11-year-old's body. And it is embarrassing for her to see me like this.
However, this still isn't a viable justification for how she was being treated in the household, considering she wasn't living her childhood the way she was supposed to live, and was now stuck in this loop of helping her mother all day with everything that she couldn't do herself.
Okay, finish. I'm about to go and start cooking breakfast.
What's even more shocking is how she is made to carry the responsibility of making food for both her mother and her 4 siblings, even though she had older brothers who could easily take over the chore.
Jeffrey is 16, Robert is 13, Ukaya is 11.
This exact instance was also noticed and criticized heavily online. Why is there literally one of the youngest children doing all the work for the mum? There is literally a 16-year-old boy that can't even cook, clean, or help the mum. And people even sided with Ukaya, saying how the burden on her was far more than she's supposed to carry. No 11-year-old should be put in a position where they have to cook dinner for a whole family. She's a baby, and there are too many people in and out of the house that can help. Much like Ukaya, Kimora was also stuck in this parent-caregiver relationship with her mother, Mercedes. From sleeping in the same bed as her 800-pound mother and little brother, to getting up to taking the whole house's responsibility on herself. Kimora was less of her daughter and more of her caretaker. Being only 11 years old, she was made to do a 30-year-old's work, all while her mother was bedbound almost all day. What's even worse is how every day she and her brother went to school without having breakfast, while her mother feasted on countless meals while they were away. Despite being so young, she had amazing emotional maturity and was willing to help her mother in every possible way she could.
I help my mom by getting her what she wants and what she needs. And I know it's hard for her because she want to do for us and us not do it for her.
Which involved cooking for her every day, making fatty meals that fueled her mother's food addiction, all while being extremely selfless in her act of service, even though it was extremely hard for her to look over everything.
My mom's weight has really affected me because I have to do all the work now, and she just sit there and I have to do everything, and it's hard for me. and it's hard for her.
I swear, I don't know why childcare services do not take these kids away. They are not slaves. To add to it all, her mother would make them eat the same fatty meals she was eating, resulting in the kids getting no proper nutrition.
Kimora, go get the ice cream and the bowls and the spoons. Come on, Kimora, y'all need to hurry up.
Which was extremely negligent of her as a mother. This put the internet into debate as to whether Mercedes was treating her kids properly, with one viewer criticizing her parenting by saying she was a negligent and abusive mother. That poor girl did not have a childhood, and what looked like devotion to her mother was just a trauma bond. That is how she pleases her mother. I hope those children got the love they deserve. Now, if you like my videos, please subscribe or watch my similar videos here.